In 1878, a painter vanished from his home. His last painting was found on his easel, unfinished. His brush was still wet. His chair was still warm, but he was never seen again. Some paintings are made with ink. Others are made with blood, and some are made with the souls of the innocent. This is the story of the Painted Bride, a love so deep it defied death, a curse so old it devoured villages, and a demon who has been waiting for 100 years. Wei Chen woke with a gasp. The dream was still burning behind his eyes, a bride in white, weeping at an altar, her face veiled in shadow. Her hands were bound with red silk. Her voice called his name. He had never seen her before, and yet he painted her that morning, as if his hand was guided by something beyond his will. The brush moved before he could think. The face on the canvas looked back at him with eyes that held a century of sorrow. Every stroke of his brush brought her closer to life. Her eyes, dark and bottomless, as if they had seen death itself. Her lips, pale and trembling, as if they were about to speak. Her sorrow, so deep it seemed to bleed through the paint. He did not know her name. He did not know why he wept as he painted. But the canvas knew. And in the corner of the painting, barely visible, a shadow moved. Waiting, watching, hungry. A knock came at his door, sharp, sudden, like a bone breaking in the silence. A servant in silk robes bowed low. "Lord Han requests your presence. He has a painting that needs your skill." Wei Chen arrived at Han Manor, a vast estate of dark corridors and locked doors. In the center of a hidden chamber, covered in dust and crimson silk, was a painting. Lord Han pulled the silk away. Wei Chen's heart stopped. It was her, the bride from his dreams. Every detail was identical: her face, her sorrow, her bound hands. But the painting was ancient. It had been sealed for 100 years. "Restore it," Lord Han said, "and I will make you a wealthy man." Wei Chen did not hear him. He was already lost in her eyes. And deep within the painting, the shadow smiled. Wei Chen worked through the night. As he touched the canvas, he felt warmth, as if the painting was alive. The woman in the painting was no longer just paint and silk. She was Ling Yu, the bride who had been trapped inside the scroll for 100 years. Her soul had been waiting for someone to hear her voice. Then he heard a voice, soft as silk and faint as a whisper. "You came." It echoed through the room like a bell in a tomb, delicate, yet impossible to ignore. He pulled back. The brush trembled in his hand. His heart pounded against his ribs. Ling Yu's voice returned, gentler now, but filled with a desperate longing that made his blood run cold. "I have been waiting for you, Wei Chen. I have waited 100 years, watching, dreaming, hoping that one day someone would see me. Someone would hear me. Someone would come." Her voice trembled. "And now you are here." Her eyes moved in the painting. Not the painted eyes, but the spirit behind them. "A prisoner of the Crimson Lord." "Who are you?" He whispered. "I am the bride who was never wed. I am the soul who sacrificed herself to trap the demon. And you are the only one who can set me free." Over the next nights, the painting began to change. The landscape behind Ling Yu shifted. Mountains crumbled, trees withered, and the sky turned a dull, bloody red. Wei Chen heard whispers from the canvas. Not Ling Yu's voice, but many voices. Hundreds of them. Souls trapped in the ink, crying for release. And in the corner, the shadow grew. It took the form of a man, tall, crimson-robed, with eyes like dying embers. "Leave her alone," Wei Chen said, his voice trembling but defiant. The shadow laughed, a sound like grinding bones, like the cries of the dying, like the whisper of 1,000 trapped souls. It was not a laugh of joy. It was a laugh of hunger. "She is mine. She has always been mine. And when you finish the painting, she will be mine forever." A wandering monk named Master Xiao arrived at Jin City. He heard of Wei Chen's commission and came to his studio. "Burn it," he said. "I have seen that painting before. It is made with the blood of the innocent. Every stroke is a soul screaming. Every color is a life extinguished." Master Xiao looked into his eyes and sighed. "Then you are already lost." He placed a small jade talisman in Wei Chen's hand. "When the demon comes for you," Master Xiao said, pressing the talisman into Wei Chen's trembling palm, "this will give you one chance. One chance to face the darkness. One chance to save her. But it will not save you. Use it wisely, or lose everything." People in Jin City began to disappear. Merchants, beggars, a young girl who played in the streets. And when they vanished, no one remembered them. Their names faded from memory, erased as if they had never existed. But Wei Chen remembered. He remembered them all, because their faces now appeared in the painting, trapped in the shadows behind Lingyu. "I am growing stronger," the Crimson Lord whispered. "Soon, I will have enough souls to leave this prison. And when I do, I will burn the world." Wei Chen sought out old woman Li, the last survivor of Yin village. She lived in a hut at the edge of the forest, silent and bitter. "Yin village was beautiful," she said, "until the Crimson Lord came. He painted portraits of every family, then burned them alive. He trapped their souls in that scroll." She paused. Her voice trembled. Lingyu was his first. She was a bride on her wedding day. He took her before she could say her vows. She sacrificed herself to imprison him inside the painting, but she became his prisoner in return. The sky over Jin City turned crimson. A rain of blood began to fall, burning the skin of those marked by the painting. Wei Chen felt it searing his arm, a red mark, shaped like a brushstroke. He was marked. The Crimson Lord had claimed him. "You cannot escape me." The demon's voice laughed in the rain. "You are part of the painting now. You will join her. Forever." That night, they came. Reanimated corpses, bound in funeral shrouds, their bodies rigid and cold, hopping through the darkness. They were soldiers of the Crimson Lord, sent to destroy the painting and kill Wei Chen. Wei Chen hid in the temple as Master Xiao recited sacred chants. The jade talisman glowed in his hand. "Burn the painting," Master Xiao shouted. "Now," but Wei Chen could not. If the painting burned, Lingyu would burn with it. He ran into the night, carrying the painting, chased by the dead. At dawn, Wei Chen made his choice. He stepped into the painting, and the world dissolved into ink and shadow. The air grew cold and thick, like breathing through water. The colors bled into one another, reds, blacks, golds, swirling around him like a living storm. He could no longer feel the ground beneath his feet. He could no longer hear the wind outside his studio. The painting had swallowed him whole. He was no longer in Jin City. He was in the painted realm, a twisted version of Yin village, trapped in eternal twilight. He saw her. Lingyu was standing in the courtyard of the altar, bound by red silk, weeping. "I should have let you go," he whispered. She looked up. Her eyes were filled with love and sorrow. "I am not worth saving," she replied, her voice trembling. "But you came, and that is more than I ever hoped for." The Crimson Lord rose from the shadows. He was not a man. He was a mass of crimson ink and screaming faces, reaching for Wei Chen with hands made of souls. "You cannot save her," the demon hissed. "She is mine. She will always be mine." Wei Chen raised the jade talisman. It glowed with the light of 1,000 souls. "Let her go," he said, "or I will destroy this place, and you with it." The demon laughed. "To destroy me, you must burn the painting. And if you burn the painting, you burn her. Is that what you want?" Wei Chen looked at Lingyu. She smiled. A beautiful, heartbreaking smile. "Do it," she said. "I have been trapped here for 100 years. I am ready to be free." Wei Chen returned from the painting with Lingyu's soul in his hands. He placed her on the altar. She glowed, a spirit about to fade. "Thank you," she whispered, "for seeing me, for loving me, for coming for me. Stay with me," he begged. She touched his cheek. Her hand was cold, ethereal. "I can't, but I will always be with you. In your dreams, in your heart, in every painting you ever create." She kissed him once, cold as moonlight, soft as silk. It was a kiss that tasted of goodbye, a kiss that held 100 years of longing, a kiss that would haunt him forever. And in that single moment, he felt her soul brush against his, warm, gentle, and already fading. Then the painting burst into flames. The demon screamed, a sound that tore through the painted realm like a blade through silk. It was not a single cry. It was the echo of every soul he had devoured, every life he had stolen, every moment of agony he had inflicted, all released in one terrible, shrieking howl. The canvas rippled, the shadows writhed, and for a moment, the darkness itself seemed to weep. The souls were freed. They rose from the burning canvas like a river of light. Hundreds of them, shimmering and translucent, their faces finally at peace. One by one, they turned toward Wei Chen, not with anger, but with gratitude. Then they ascended into the dawn sky, a silent flood of silver and gold. After 100 years of darkness, they were finally home. Wei Chen watched her fade into the dawn sky, a bride at last, walking toward the light. Her veil was no longer stained with sorrow. Her hands were no longer bound with silk. She was free, truly free, for the first time in 100 years. She did not look back, but he knew, deep in his heart, that she was smiling. Wei Chen sits alone in his studio. Moonlight pours through the window, painting silver patterns on the floor. He holds a single red flower, the only thing Ling Yu left behind. It is dry now, its petals curling like whispers. He presses it to his lips. He can still feel her kiss. He can still hear her voice. Not a single tear falls. It lands on the flower, and for a moment, it glows. He looks up, and for a moment, he sees her reflection in the window. She smiles. Her lips move. Her voice comes to him like a whisper from another world. Remember me. He nods, his heart breaking. She smiles one last time, soft, warm, eternal. Then she fades into the moonlight, leaving only the echo of her voice behind. Remember me. And so, he keeps that promise. Every single night, he remembers her. Every single night, he waits for her in his dreams. Courage does not change based on identity. Bravery does not ask permission. And love never truly dies. Some stories are too important to forget. This was one of them. If the painted bride moved something inside you, if you felt the cold of the crimson Lord's breath, if you wept for Wei Chen and Ling Yu, then do not let it end here. Subscribe, not because we ask, but because every soul deserves to be remembered. Every story deserves to be told. And every viewer becomes part of the legend. Like, share, subscribe. New journeys await. New silences will break. See you soon.